Israel changes course. Will Sharon's victory bring new winds of war to the Middle East? Tale of the terrorist. Why Osama bin Laden turned on America. Evidence of a conspiracy for carnage at a Kansas high school. And is the safety on this rifle really a deadly threat? Eye on America investigates.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
Good evening. Depending on whom you listen to, the hardliners' victory in today's election in Israel could guarantee Israeli security, doom prospects for peace with the Palestinians, bring Israel together in national unity, or speed the entire Middle East on the road to war. Perhaps none of the above. But however it ends, tonight Israeli voters have begun a new chapter in their turbulent history. And as CBS's David Hawkins reports, they have chosen its central figure.
Israel's old warhorse, Ariel Sharon, trampled incumbent Prime Minister Ehud Barak and ran away with the election. Israeli television reported exit polls showing Sharon with 59.5% of the vote to Barak's 40.5%. Sharon and Barak, both former army generals, campaigned as candidates for peace. But Sharon is better known for waging war against the Arabs, his indirect role in the 1982 massacre of hundreds of Palestinian refugees in Lebanon, and for his hardline opposition to compromise with the Palestinians.
If there is an unstable security situation with Sharon as prime minister, you're going to see a quicker cycle of responses and therefore a broader chance of this conflict escalating.
After 5 months of fighting and nearly 400 dead, most Israelis have given up on a negotiated peace. Today, they chose the general they believe is most capable of protecting Israel's security.
It's about our life here. If you want to stay here and to live and to let these children grow here without any kind of danger, we have to let this guy to do what he have to do.
What Sharon won't do is continue the peace process along the same track as Barak. He said his government would refuse to divide Jerusalem and would turn over less than half the territory Barak offered. And he won't even talk about it unless the Palestinians stop their violent protests.
Intifada will continue and it will be escalated in the future, and the Israeli people will discover that Sharon will fail to guarantee the Israeli security in the near future.
A Palestinian official called Sharon's victory, quote, the most foolish event in Israel's history. Foolish or not, it's sure to increase tensions in the Middle East, not just between Israelis and Palestinians, but between Israel and its Arab neighbors as well. Dan?
David Hawkins in Tel Aviv. Arab reaction to Sharon's victory was predictably gloomy. Officially, Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat said he's prepared to work with any Israeli prime minister seeking peace. But today, an Arafat spokesman said the settlement proposals Sharon offered during the election campaign are, and I quote, a recipe for war. President Bush telephoned Sharon tonight to express his congratulations and hopes for progress toward peace. But as CBS News national security correspondent David Martin reports, after years of aggressive U.S. peacemaking efforts, the new diplomatic tone in Washington is decidedly muted.
With the election of the hardline Ariel Sharon ending for the foreseeable future any chance of a final peace treaty between the Israelis and Palestinians, Secretary of State Powell made clear today there won't be any peace initiatives from the Bush administration anytime soon.
Today and for the immediate future, our concern is just stopping the killing and not allowing violence to rise in that region.
With or without Sharon, the violence of the past several months is the single biggest obstacle to peace.
We cannot go from where we are to negotiating a permanent peace. Right now, neither side is capable of doing that.
Even if the violence ends, experts like Dennis Ross, who just stepped down after more than a decade as this country's lead Middle East peace negotiator, say Sharon will probably never make the concessions necessary for a permanent peace treaty with the Palestinians. But both Ross and U.S. intelligence analysts believe Sharon can at least coexist peacefully with the Palestinians. Sharon is a renowned warrior, but that same warrior once bulldozed a Jewish settlement in the Sinai to comply with the terms of a peace treaty with Egypt.
He's going to have an interest in demonstrating that he is serious about peace, to demonstrate that the image that many hold of him is not the correct image.
As for Yasser Arafat, the Palestinian leader Sharon must deal with, he has so far been unwilling or unable to stop the violence. But he too has a stake in peaceful coexistence.
If you're going to assume the responsibilities of a state at some point, you have to be able to act like one.
Simply calling for an end to violence may not seem like much of a Mideast policy. But Secretary Powell says that's pretty much all the U.S. can do right now. David Martin, CBS News, the State Department.
This was the first day of testimony at the New York trial of 4 men charged in the 1998 murder bombings of 2 U.S. embassies in Africa, and federal prosecutors wasted no time. As CBS's Jim Axelrod reports, their first witness transfixed the court with details of the dark and vengeful world of international terrorism.
Until today, he'd been known only as CS1. This morning, the government's star witness in the embassy bombings case got a name, even if courtroom artists were forbidden to give him a face. Jamal Ahmed Al-Fadl told a story never before heard in a court of law. Al-Fadl said he was a founding member of Al-Qaeda, an Islamic terrorist group started by Osama bin Laden to fight the Russians in Afghanistan. During the Gulf War, Al-Fadl testified today, bin Laden warned we cannot let the American army stay in our holy land and take our oil, our money. We have to do something to take them out. And that bin Laden's religious advisors said not to worry if that meant killing civilians.
And in terms of in an American courtroom, this is an unprecedented trial going on.
Al-Fadl, who's talking as part of his own plea deal, said bin Laden coordinated with Islamic radicals inside Algeria, Libya, Yemen, Egypt, Syria, and Chechnya about overthrowing those governments.
We can learn a lot about this network of men who are across so many countries that will help us overall in our overall counterterrorism efforts.
While the experts heard new details about the man accused of planning the embassy bombings which killed 224 people, relatives of the victims who came for some answers left only with more questions.
How could individuals be convinced in the name of any religion to kill a man like this on a consistent basis? And it's still happening.
Well, today's testimony is certainly a first. Prosecutors hope to use it as a crowbar and pry more operatives of alleged terrorists out of secrecy and into open court, and further flesh out the groups and plots that targeted the United States. Jim Axelrod, CBS News, New York.
There is a bipartisan move in Congress to revive what's called the Patient's Bill of Rights. The legislation opposed by the HMO lobby would give millions of Americans more power to challenge decisions by their managed health care plans, including the right to sue. So, is real reform any closer? CBS's Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill has the facts for you. Bob?
Dan, this one just won't go away. The lobby continues to fight it, but public pressure to reform HMOs just grows stronger.
And today, a coalition of Republicans and Democrats said they believe they finally have the votes to pass a Patient's Bill of Rights.
After 4 years of working, long, hard years, we believe that this will get us to the Rose Garden.
Part of that confidence came with the addition of a prominent new Republican supporter.
For too long, achievement of this vital reform has been frustrated by special interest gridlock.
The president says he's happy about it too, and during the campaign he endorsed a Patient's Bill of Rights. But last night, Georgia's Republican Congressman Charlie Norwood, who sponsored last year's HMO reform bill, was called to the White House and strongly urged not to join this year's coalition until the president studies the legislation. And today, the president confirmed he is worried the legislation does not go far enough in putting limits on the money patients could collect if they're allowed to sue an HMO.
We can't have a Patient's Bill of Rights that encourages and invites all kinds of lawsuits, because the ultimate effect will be to run up the cost of business.
The right to sue has always been the most controversial part of HMO reform. So by dark, the Democrats who this morning were very confident were beginning to wonder if the White House plan now is to endorse reform, but then water down the legislation until it has no meaning. Dan?
Bob Schieffer on Capitol Hill. On another issue affecting consumers and the economy, President Bush went public today with his concerns about the possibility of multiple airline strikes just over the horizon. CBS's John Roberts at the White House has more about this. John?
Dan, in a rare alignment of union contracts, deadlines, and disputes, the nation's 4 biggest airlines could all be grounded by strikes at virtually the same time. The effect on a stalled economy, the president said today, debilitating. The effect on passengers would be disastrous.
Well, our air transportation system would basically come to a halt, and it would just be devastating for passengers.
At Northwest, mechanics are looking at a strike date as early as next month. Delta pilots could join them April 1st. United Mechanics and American flight attendants are waiting for clearance to strike, just as millions of Americans pack up for what's expected to be another record-setting spring break travel season. With some 2/3 of all flights booked on the affected airlines, passengers may have nowhere to turn. The unions today claim that it's not likely that they could all be on strike at the same time. But it did happen in the 1960s. And that's enough of a precedent for the president to lay down markers today, warning all parties involved to settle their disputes, or he is prepared to step in. Dan?
John Roberts. On the CBS Market Watch, a report out today says U.S. corporations, for whatever reason, cut a record 142,000 jobs in January, including nearly 35,000 in the auto industry, 15,000 in retail, and nearly 12,000 on the Internet. Stocks closed mixed today. The Dow lost 8, the NASDAQ up 21. Up next here on the CBS Evening News, teenagers with an arsenal and, police say, a deadly plot. Then later, questions about the safety of a very popular rifle. Eye on America investigates.
What will you do with all your old antacids now that there's new Pepcid Complete? Only Pepcid Complete starts to work in seconds and lasts 7 times longer than Tums, all with a single tablet. New Pepcid Complete. Just one and heartburn's done.
If you have high blood pressure, you know all these cold medicines warn you not to take them. So take their advice. Don't take them. Take decongestant-free Coricidin HBP. Powerful relief that won't raise your blood pressure.
Forbes magazine carefully evaluated over 1,000 mutual funds and chose this one to add to its honor roll. The Strong Opportunity Fund. Call 1-800-4STRONG. You're one call away from a strong portfolio.
Ooh, nice.
If you've got a business to run, Staples has everything you need at guaranteed low prices.
We got to get that contract signed.
Sir, did you order the Kung Pao chicken?
Yeah, it's going to be a long night.
Get the HP 45A Inkjet 2-pack for $48.98. Unbeatable prices. Staples, yeah, we've got that.
I want to set my soul free in the Alaskan wilderness. I want to mix glaciers with champagne on our private balcony. I want to postpone dinner until after the show. I want personal choice cruising. Princess, I want to go back where I belong.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today.
Should have used Preparation H.
New Preparation H medicated wipes with aloe, the easy way to cleanse, cool, and soothe. Easier because they're 4 times bigger than Tux pads. New Preparation H medicated wipes. Big relief.
Menopause affects you in more ways than one. That's why Caltrate Plus Soy does more. It has soy isoflavones to help ease the effects of menopause and the calcium you need to help fight menopausal bone loss. Caltrate Plus Soy, the Caltrate for menopause.
The CBS Weather Watch shows a fast-moving winter storm that whacked the Northeast, blew itself out to sea this morning, but not before some spots in New England got up to 5 inches of snow per hour. All told, some places got more than 3 feet of snow. The nor'easter left a trail of dangerous roads, scattered power outages, and a lot of closed schools and businesses. School officials in a small Kansas town called in counselors today to deal with shaken students and banned long trench coats from the local high school. CBS's Bob McNamara reports it was a response to the disclosure of an alleged copycat plot styled after Colorado's Columbine massacre.
In Sleepy Hoyt, Kansas, Royal Valley school kids went back to tighter security today.
We swept the school for bombs last night, and we
found
nothing. We found nothing at any of our schools.
But arraigned on arson conspiracy charges now are 18-year-old Richard Bradley.
These are serious allegations that have been brought in this case.
Along with 16-year-old James Lopez and 17-year-old Jason Moss. They are the prime suspects in a scheme that police say could have been a deadly assault on their fellow high school students, much like the slaughter nearly 3 years ago at Littleton, Colorado's Columbine High.
I'm just thankful we got to it before it was disastrous.
Found in the suspects' homes were a small arsenal of shotguns, a modified assault rifle, ammunition, a variety of knives, and white supremacist materials.
I can say that they were loners and they hung in one small group.
It was kind of shocking, but not really, because I know the people very well, and they don't like anybody.
School officials were first tipped off to trouble 3 months ago when racist writings were found with one of the 3 boys. But it was when an anonymous caller reported the boys might be making bombs that police believed lives were at stake.
It would be devastating. It would be so devastating.
Especially devastating in small-town America, where many today were not feeling as secure for their children as they once were.
You live in rural Kansas and things like that don't happen here, but I'm sure people in Columbine thought the same thing.
It is a lesson that even the smallest of schools have had to learn now, too. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Hoyt, Kansas.
Grief counselors were also made available today at the Navistar truck engine plant in suburban Chicago, the day after a fired employee shot and killed 4 workers, wounded 4 others, and then took his own life. Police are now tracing the 4 weapons William Baker used, including a fully automatic AK-47 assault rifle. As a convicted felon, Baker supposedly was barred from buying or owning any firearms. Next, an Eye on America investigation. There are millions of these rifles out there. Do they have a potentially deadly defect?
Constipation's bad enough, so why take a laxative with stimulants that could cause abdominal discomfort and cramps? Phillips is different. It doesn't contain stimulants, so you should feel more comfortable. Phillips Milk of Magnesia, the comfortable way.
Zeke's a mighty dog. A dog his size has less calcium in his bones than larger dogs, so Zeke gets Mighty Dog. It's rich in calcium for strong bones. It'll make your dog a mighty dog. From Friskies.
I told my father I wanted to grow up to be a teacher. Wouldn't you rather be a doctor? He said. It's a noble profession and you could become wealthy. That may be true, I said. But without teachers, where would doctors come from?
Try it both ways. Most dancers are afraid of losing a step. After I had my stroke, I was afraid I'd never dance again. Now I take Bayer aspirin every day, like my doctor said, to help prevent another stroke.
Aspirin is not appropriate for everyone, so be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
And when my body is sore, I take extra strength Bayer. It's that strong. It's great to be back.
Bayer. Take it for pain, take it for life.
You know, when a toilet bowl overflows over the floor, it's not a nice thing. You could have a lot of trouble with your septic if you don't maintain it. It could also back up on the lawn. It's cheaper to maintain your septic system.
The bacteria and enzymes in Rid-X help prevent septic backups. Use Rid-X once a month.
What's for lunch?
Chicken and stars.
Condensed soup? We're not feeding the kids anymore. There's a better tasting soup. Progresso chicken noodle has all white meat chicken and bigger vegetables. See the difference?
Much better.
It's time to go to the better taste of Progresso.
Do you know what your day is going to be like? I don't. I know I'll grab my lunch, or it'll grab me. And what happens if I get constipated? I can't say, excuse me, please, would you mind slowing down? My chemical laxative just kicked in. So I rely on Metamucil. It's 100% natural fiber, treats my body gently. Unlike my job.
Metamucil. For irregularity, it's the doctor's natural choice.
CBS Hard News
malnutrition,
investigates a matter of life and death.
Hard-hitting investigations from the best team in the business. Eye on America, only on the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather.
Government safety investigators now say they're investigating 26 more highway deaths allegedly linked to Firestone tire separations. That brings the number of fatalities under investigation in the Firestone case to 174. Federal safety officials have received more than 6,000 complaints about the tires. In tonight's Eye on America, CBS brings you the results of a hard news investigation into another consumer product. There are allegations this product is defective and that it is responsible for death and injury. The product is one of the most popular rifles in America. Correspondent Jim Stewart reports there are serious questions about its safety.
This is the last photograph ever taken of Gus Barber. 1 hour after his mother snapped it last October, the 9-year-old boy lay bleeding to death in her arms. He had been hit by a slug from his mother's Remington Model 700 deer rifle, and Mrs. Barber is very, very clear about one thing.
I pulled the safety off and it fired. The gun went off. My finger was nowhere near the trigger. I had an open hand.
That much she will swear to. The rest is a blur.
I ran around the backside of the trailer and I yelled, "Where's Gus? Where's Gus?" The bullet had hit him through the hand and through his abdomen.
Rich Barber scooped up his son and the family raced for help.
He told his mother that he was starting to have a hard time breathing and he started turning pale. And I knew it was getting bad at that point.
At a tiny clinic outside Ennis, Montana, the nurses gaped.
They were shocked to see a beautiful little boy laying there with a hole blown through him. Gus died at the hospital.
You know that a lot of people are going to say you accidentally pulled the trigger. You know that's what they think.
Absolutely not.
It would be easy to assume that this was just another accidental shooting and a grieving family looking to blame anyone but itself. But within hours of Gus's death, the Barber family learned that they were not alone, that this same model rifle had been doing the same thing to others over and over again.
I hit the safety with my finger off the trigger, and all of a sudden it goes boom.
I just went to take the safety off, and it fired.
The astonishing thing is, no one had connected the dots out here before until the Barber family spoke out about the Remington Model 700 at their church. Immediately, they began to hear from others.
In no time at all, I had 14 people that have experienced the same problem with their firearm.
The same firearm?
M700.
Right.
And they all told the same story. Sheriff T. Larson from Medicine Horse.
Took it off safely and the gun discharged.
Jim Van Dale from Bighorn County.
It shot my finger off.
And always the same sequence.
It hit on the safety and they went off.
And it's operated in this manner.
To local gunsmith Pete Noreen, who had also seen a Model 700 go off when the safety was disengaged, it was all too familiar.
I had the strangest feeling in my stomach. It still chokes me up that I knew what happened.
But what really happened in this tiny community in southwest Montana, we discovered, is not that unique at all. Explore Remington's own records uncovered in a lawsuit as we did, and you'll discover hundreds of similar consumer complaints to the company all about the Model 700. And the question now is, have some gun owners been careless, or is this a potentially deadly defective product? Tomorrow, some answers. In Montana, this is Jim Stewart for Eye on America.
Only 3 presidents of the United States have lived to the age of 90. John Adams, Herbert Hoover, and now Ronald Reagan. Our 40th president, born February 6, 1911, celebrated his birthday quietly today at his home in Los Angeles. At the Reagan Library in Simi Valley, school children signed a giant card wishing President Reagan well, and then had a piece of cake, marking what the former president would call the 51st anniversary of his 39th birthday.
Enterprise? Hi, my car's out of commission, so I'm out of commission.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
MSN Money Central, you've got the #1 ranked financial site to check all your accounts from any web connection anytime.
My dry, itchy skin would flare up. I just wanted to hide.
Cordate helps heal and protect dry, itchy skin fast with maximum strength medicine and special moisturizers.
My skin was healed.
First aid, fast aid, Cordate.
What's for lunch?
Chicken and stars.
Condensed soup? We're not feeding the kids anymore. There's a better tasting soup. Progresso chicken noodle has all white meat chicken and bigger vegetables. See the difference?
Much better.
It's time to go to the better taste of Progresso. In this place, I see a lot of gas. I also see a lot of folks taking medicines that don't fight gas. But Gas-X has the most powerful medicine to relieve gas fast. Not that I've seen works faster. Gas-X beats the bloat fast.
I like to come here early in the morning, before the rest of the world puts their 2 cents in.
When you have pain and sleeplessness, but worry about taking something, reach for Tylenol PM. It's non-habit forming, stops your pain and helps you sleep, so you can wake up refreshed.
If I don't have a good morning, I don't hold out much hope for the rest of the day.
Take comfort. It's Tylenol PM.
Everyone liked the dog that used to sleep at the fire station, except one firefighter who admitted he shot and killed the animal. Why would he do such a thing? The story at 6.
A major new study has found no link between cell phone use and cancer. Scientists tracked the health of 420,000 cell phone users in Denmark. They report in tomorrow's Journal of the National Cancer Institute that analysis of the data shows the subjects of the study had slightly lower cancer rates than the Danish average. Now, before you dial out or stick in for the next program, we leave you with new health questions about another popular activity, the booming spectator turnout to watch big buildings implode. A Johns Hopkins University study finds they can be breathtaking in more ways than one. An air quality test showed pollution levels up to 100 times higher than normal, and the demolition dust cloud took 20 minutes to clear. There are health precautions you can take. You're taking the best one right now, watching buildings fall down and go boom on television. And that's part of our world tonight. I'll be back later here on CBS with 60 Minutes too. At 14, she went to jail with convicted killers, and what happened next taught her lessons no youngster should have to learn. Plus, is he about to change the world? A lot of people think so. Meet the man behind the mysterious invention known as IT. 60 Minutes 2, tonight at 9, 8 Central. Till then, Dan Rather, reporting for the CBS Evening News. Have a good evening.
For news 24 hours a day, CBS.com on the internet and on our interactive partner, America Online, at keyword CBS News.
Does this popular rifle have a potentially deadly defect? Tomorrow, experience CBS News.
Coming up on News Channel 5 at 6, black smoke filled the sky this afternoon. If you saw it, you probably wondered where it was coming from. We'll have the answer coming up next.
They're very tiny and very cute, but some squirrels are causing a big problem, and it's